Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If you're watching us live on Facebook, thank you for that. And if you are watching us later, please do remember that we upload these shows to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. You can check them out there. And thank you if you're listening to them there as well. We do upload audio and video versions. Want to remind folks that the Facebook's live feed does stay on our Facebook page pervasively, so you can always go back and watch some if you want to. Want to remind everybody, please remember that Sunday is Mother's Day. That's coming up fast and furious here. So please remember, hello, Kat, good morning. So please remember to reach out to some of these folks. Ricky Harriman in Denham Springs, the Antique Village in Denham Springs also has some great offerings for Mother's Day. You can check those places out. A lot of them are reopening. Some are still only doing curbside. Please check out their website. They do have a website that has all the shops listed. Please also remember Jake's on the Avenue in the Antique District, 667-6670 can also help you out with Mother's Day. So between him and Mr. Ricky Harriman, I'm sure that you can find some flowers to please your mother on this Mother's Day. So don't forget that coming up this Sunday. Please also remember that on our website, we do have a free page, www.livingstonparishnews.com/coronavirus. It's where all this information comes from. It's free, and we are keeping it updated daily on all the things that we can find and all the things that are happening in Livingston Parish that we believe are important and then we can get to for you to keep you informed, I guess you can say. Getting into your traffic and weather this morning, it is Friday. It looks like some people are holding off from going to work. Not a whole lot of delays at 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190. Looking at minor delays on those on-ramps getting on to I-12. I-12 still relatively clear. Some minor delays on 64, some minor delays range at 190, and also some minor delays at 447 and 190, which of course is Walker South. It's currently 66 degrees and sunny. It's looking like it's going to be a beautiful day for most of the day. However, we are looking at some afternoon thunderstorms, bringing in some chilly weather. So you've got a high of 84 today, but then you have an overnight low of 53. And it's going to be that way for about 2 days. You're looking over the weekend, going to be beautiful during the day, somewhere in the mid-70s both Saturday and Sunday, but dropping near 50 overnight. So it's going to get chilly during the evening. Want to cover these mitigation efforts with you real quick. Please remember to wash your hands for 20 seconds or more with soap and water. Disinfect common surfaces at home and at your office. Wear a mask in public per CDC guidelines if at all possible. Going along with that, don't touch your face. Control your cough with an elbow or a tissue. That also includes sneezing. 6 feet or more between you and others. It's called social distancing. In public, 10 or less to a gathering, preferably less. Stay home and work if at all possible, and definitely stay home if you're sick and contact your doctor via telehealth. Currently in Louisiana, you're looking at 30,652 cases of COVID-19, 20,316 have recovered, 200,000 tests. So we have broke the 200,000 mark. Of course, they're looking to do 200,000 total tests in the month of May. So some of these count towards that 200,000 total as we barrel towards a larger pool of coronavirus tests being offered. 1,432 are currently hospitalized on 189 ventilators, 2,135 deaths. In Livingston Parish, you're looking at 268 cases, 19 deaths on 3,200 tests. Now, it's unfortunate to report that the second Louisiana resident who has died of coronavirus under the age of 18 was reported yesterday. It's just an unfortunate part of this process that we have to report. So you can check that out and that information at livingstonparishnews.com/coronavirus. Coming up today, the governor is going to have a press conference where they're going to kind of do a deep dive on contact tracing. If you remember what contact tracing is, it is investigative healthcare. It is where the Louisiana Department of Health is building sort of a team. They said they needed about 700. We'll see if that number still rings true today to do basically backtracing on where someone who has tested coronavirus has been. Also getting in contact with those within their inner circle, within maybe one or two touches away, trying to see when was the last time they were in contact with the person within 6 feet, that kind of thing. A lot of times it's going to be recommended that they quarantine for 14 days. Not entirely sure what kind of enforcement, if any, is going to be attached to this, but we're going to find out today. But that will be the main discussion point for this afternoon's press conference. Of course, the governor is only doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at this point. So we will see what happens. Of course, all of this is couched against the legislature, which 2 days ago passed a measure to try to take, as they said, some of the teeth out of the stay-at-home order. We'll see how that affects things going forward. Of course, the stay-at-home order ends a week from today, so they may shelve it simply because they cannot get it to go any further. There was no reports of movement with it yesterday as it moved into the main house. Of course, a bill starts in one committee in one house, goes to the floor, and then is sent to the other house. So we'll see. There's still a long way for it to go, and they may just decide to just let it go since the stay-at-home order ends next Friday. Time will tell, of course. So again, this afternoon, going to be getting a deep dive on contact tracing. You can always check it out. Check me out on Twitter at McHugh David 41, or follow us on Facebook. We share the live video. Also give you live updates just in case you don't have time to watch the video or you don't really want to. You can always read those live updates, and then we put together our stories, which will come out this afternoon. The opensafely.la.gov website, which was supposed to give guidance to some of these businesses that had been closed due to the governor's proclamation, has had some excess traffic, unexpected traffic. The Louisiana State Fire Marshal said that the portion of it that would allow residents to report businesses that were not following social distancing guidelines had to be disabled at this time. So they're saying that you can still call the fire marshal's office if you'd like to report a business that is not following mitigation or social distancing guidelines. However, that portion of the website has been disabled. According to some legislators, when they received the report, they said that people couldn't snitch on businesses anymore. It'll be interesting to see if they bring that back up at all moving forward. Jobless claims nationwide are up 3.2 million, so we're now at 33.5 million total unemployment claims around the country. That's nationwide. Here in Louisiana, we reported earlier this week that we've crossed the 30% unemployment threshold as we move towards this end of stay-at-home date of May 15th. So we will see how that number changes starting with that date, but it's been a rough time for people nationwide as that number has continued to grow week over week. There's not a whole lot of consensus among economists as to whether or not that number will decrease going forward or will continue to increase. Of course, it's one of those things where time will tell. But as of right now, again, 3.2 million new jobless claims nationwide, pushing us up to 33.5 million total. Over 30% of Louisiana workforce is currently hitting the unemployment line. The library has extended their closure. They were temporarily closed. You can still visit them online, mylpl.info, or you can sit in their parking lot. They do have Wi-Fi at their locations. They were closed per the governor's stay-at-home order to kind of follow in those footsteps. They will reopen May 15th with mitigation and social distancing in mind as they try to keep the library safe. That includes the staff and the patrons who decide to come. So again, the library has extended their closure to May 15th. Local Girl Scouts have given away about 1,000 boxes of cookies to local first responders and to nurses and healthcare professionals, saying, they need a treat too. So trying to support these folks that have been on the front lines, first responders having to deal with people who potentially have COVID, and of course, nurses and doctors being around it almost every day. So the Girl Scouts of America or specifically the Girl Scouts of Livingston Parish and East Baton Rouge, wanted to deliver a little bit of smiles to those first responders and nurses, giving away over 1,000 boxes of cookies. to local first responders and nurses. So thank you, Girl Scouts, for that. Teacher parades have become a very popular thing here in Louisiana, and they've started to ramp up here in Livingston Parish, especially since the governor decided, along with local school districts and the Louisiana Department of Education, that physical school campuses will remain closed for the remainder of the year. Now teachers are setting up these parades where they go drive around in neighborhoods where their kids live, or vice versa. The kids drive past teachers' homes, trying to say hello, trying to reconnect. There is a bond that's formed, especially when there was only about 7 or 8 weeks of school left. So they had already spent the majority of the year together. So a lot of teachers, when they were talking to Mr. David Gray, who got to interview him, they just said it's just so good to see their faces at least one more time before they move on to the next year, especially, for a lot of 5th grade teachers and a lot of 8th grade teachers. Those kids are leaving the school and moving on to a new campus. So that's a very difficult time for them. It's a very difficult time for these teachers and administrators at these schools. So please keep them in mind. If you see big lines of cars moving around in some of these subdivisions throughout Louisiana, that's either a bunch of students or a bunch of teachers trying to go see each other before the school year ends. Again, those teacher parades are becoming very popular here in Livingston Parish, and for good reason. Want to track down these mitigation efforts with you one more time real quick. Remember to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds or more. Disinfect common surfaces at home and at the office. Wear a mask in public per CDC guidelines if at all possible. Don't touch your face either. Control your cough with an elbow or a tissue. That includes your sneezing as well. Want to remind you again, don't touch your face. 6 feet or more between yourself and others in public. That's social distancing. 10 or less to a gathering, preferably less. Stay home if you're sick and utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor. And if at all possible, stay home and to work until your office has implemented some mitigation efforts and social distancing. One last time with your coronavirus statistics: 30,652 cases in Louisiana, 20,316 recovered, 200,000 tests. So please remember they're trying to ramp that up. We're going to be learning about contact tracing today from the governor. 1,432 hospitalized on 189 ventilators, 2,135 deaths. Of course, we also let you know that yesterday reported the second Louisiana resident under the age of 18 to die to COVID-19. In Livingston Parish, 268 cases, 19 deaths, and 3,200 tests. One last time with your traffic, looking at delays on the on-ramps getting on I-12, but I-12 looking relatively clear. Only minor delays today. It looks like since it's Friday, a lot of people not going to work. You're looking at delays at Range and 190, as well as 64 heading into Central, as well as 190 and 447. It's currently 66 degrees, 84 degrees going to be your high today, but you're looking at some afternoon thunderstorms that are going to bring in some chilly weather. Going to be 53 overnight. Going to get chilly over the weekend. You're looking at mid-70s during the day, going to be pretty beautiful, and then they're going to drop to roughly 50 both Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. So not both, all Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. So please remember to bundle up coming up here over the weekend. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you joining us this morning for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print on Thursdays at $7 a month for that subscription, or $56 a year. You can also find us online, www.livingstonparishnews.com. We do have a coronavirus page, which is free. Also, we have a podcast page where we place these, which is free as well. Want to remind folks that you can follow me live on Twitter or Facebook this afternoon as we go through the governor's contact tracing deep dive. Otherwise, we hope you have a great weekend, and we will see you back here in the corner coming up on Monday.